Business change is important for all programs that involve people having to behave differently. This model is an introductory model for this area. The business change model is a small example of where the success of change taking place is strategically important and will lead to additional revenue. Additionally, the perceptions of stakeholders in terms of the success of change are important. Therefore, there are two measures shown on the outcome relating to the success of change increase, which has been flagged as strategic. The model shows how a number of different nodes can be used, for example risk, assumptions, requirements and stakeholders, as well as the standard outcomes, measures, initiatives, capabilities and processes. Many of the nodes have extra data behind to give more description about this model, which can be found by expanding the Details tab on the right-hand side of the screen or within the Model Data tab. So one of the outcomes that contributes to the change being successful is for the risk of change to be reduced, which is measured by the effort and cost of negative resistant behaviours. The effectiveness of those leading and sponsoring the change to help embed is the main significant contribution to the reduction of risk. There is an assumption here that these people will have the means to help with the embedding, and there is a requirement that all managers and department heads will also need to be committed to the change. To help those people embed the change, the main contributing factor will be that the activities and roles needed will be planned and resourced. Here a risk has been added around people resisting the change, and by looking in the details area on the right hand side, you can see that there are two individual risks that make up this high level risk. These are that the new processes will not be carried out and that the speed of the program will be delayed. Risk information has been added to this note to give you an illustration of how the main fields can be used as part of the risk register and management tool. There are two things that will contribute to the planned activities and roles outcome. These are an initiative that sponsorship and leadership support will be gained, and also the outcome that common agreement and consensus has been reached in terms of specific objectives, outcomes, initiatives and measures. By looking at the weights on the model using the Show Weights button, you can see that contributions are not equal. The last outcome is that there is a compelling need to change, and this contributes to the agreement being reached. Also modelled in this example, there is a CEO stakeholder who is interested in a couple of the outcomes, Outcome 5 and Outcome 3, and you can use the Stakeholder Benefit Report found in the Reports tab to help manage stakeholders as well as the data behind each stakeholder node. There are two initiatives, Sponsorship and Leadership and Benefits Management. The Sponsorship and Leadership Initiative has two qualities that represent a choice, that you can either do this or not, and there are two capabilities that are needed for the supportive quality level. One is that a business case has been approved plan for, and the other is that leadership and management support has been gained. For the Benefits Management Initiative, you can see that there are three choices or quality levels that have been created here. Not doing benefits management, doing it to a basic level, which adds 50% of possible value, or at the full level. The difference between the options is shown by the attached capabilities. At a basic level, model and options will be defined, but the program will not use any sophisticated optimization as part of the planning process, which is needed for doing benefits management at the full level. Before we move into the optimize phase, we will go to the program tab, where we can see the details of the program and a number of phases with durations and descriptions that have been defined. These will be used when we start taking time into account during the optimize stage, which we will go on to now. Within the Optimize function of Realisor, we can create options, define initiative performance phases for each option, and see a summary of outcome, objective and financial performance. You can see that there are four options that have been created and defined on the left-hand side. A basic option, a full option, a do-nothing option. You can see that over the phases that the sponsorship and leadership will be in place by a certain phase, and a certain level of benefits management has been assumed to be in place across different phases as well. This differs for the full option, where the full benefits management process is being used. You can also see on this page the financial summary, as well as the flow of value through the objectives and values on each of the measures by hovering over the outcomes listed in the middle of the screen. The Options Schedule tab allows you to select an option and view the schedule for it by capability. Hover over this to get information on resource use and cost. Clicking on the Business Case tab gives you a nice summary of net benefits over time for each of the options. When you are happy with the option to deliver, then you can go to the Program tab and choose your option in the bottom left of the screen. In this instance, we will choose the Basic option. Now we have set the delivery option to report against, we can track the benefit measures through the Realisation tabs. The Realise function allows you to capture actual against expected data to keep a check on the actual performance against what was expected during planning, both for the benefit measures across the Benefit Measure and Financial Measures tabs, but also for cost in the Activity Costs tab. We can see the green line on the graph, which shows the expected benefits, and we can use the table at the top of the screen to enter in actual data, which plots as a purple line on the graph. This data can also be exported and sent out to the people who are collecting the actual performance data and then resubmitted for import into Realisor. These are essential screens, along with a number of the reports, to be used during performance reviews. Overall, this model allows you to go through each of the 3 stages using the Realisor Free Edition and to practice with support from lessons from the Learning Portal videos.